Now, when is this marriage happening?
We are looking at the middle of next year, Tati.
That long? What do you have to say about this?
No problem, uncle. We can do it in a day.
Oh?
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. Join the People's Bank Digital Banking revolution now.
Both the loan and the wedding in one day.
Must be your lucky day.
People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
In a few moments, the news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(8:45). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca, read by Soundithavam. The Minister of Finance instructs officials to provide expeditious solutions to the people intending to go for overseas employment. The JVP leader condemns the opposition leader Sajith Premadas's call for snap elections. Children will be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine from next week. The Agriculture Minister says the government is to stop the import of chilies into the country. Multiple invasive fish species released into natural waterways disturb the natural ecosystem. The Commissioner General of Excise says all retail liquor shops are closed. In world news, the World Food Programme says that 93% of households in Afghanistan don't have sufficient access to food today. The Minister of Finance, Basil Rajapaksa, has instructed officials to provide expeditious solutions for the people who are intending to go for overseas employment. There is a good demand for the Sri Lankans in the overseas job market, and it is the duty of the government to provide a helping hand to the people who are interested in going overseas for employment, the minister said. It is reported that there is a lack of aircraft seating facilities today due to travel limitations. The minister added for the officials to take immediate measures to meet the issue by dealing with the Sri Lankan airline and other service providers, stressing that the foreign employers are doing a major task to uplift the Sri Lankan economy. The opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, speaking during an event yesterday, has called for a snap election to let the people decide who is best to lead the country. The opposition leader said that the country is facing a serious crisis. The opposition leader said that only the main opposition, Samagi Jana Balavegaya, can manage the country properly. As a result, he called on the government to resign and go for an election. Meanwhile, the JVP leader, Anurakumara Disanayaka, referring to the above statement, has slammed the opposition leader, Sajith Premadasa's call for snap elections. The JVP leader said the statement is utterly immature and an irresponsible statement, and said that this is not an appropriate time to conduct an election. Children with special needs will be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine from next week in Sri Lanka. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that the COVID-19 vaccination for children over 12 years of age is planned to be carried out in 3 phases. Accordingly, children with chronic diseases will be vaccinated under the first phase, and in the second phase, the vaccine will be given to O-level and A-level students. In the third stage, the vaccine will be given to the rest of the children, especially those over 12 years of age. Health Minister Kelly Rambukwella last week said that the government is considering to vaccinate nearly 2 million school children promptly. Meanwhile, the technical committee appointed to look into the possibility of starting schools has made recommendations that schools with less than 200 children could start in October. The committee met yesterday under the chairmanship of the Director General of Health Services. Agriculture Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage says the government will take measures to stop the import of chilies into the country by the year 2024. Addressing the media at the Galabada estate in Navalapitiya after observing the successful cultivation of chilies, he said all chilies required for the country are being imported. The minister also said it has been planned to cultivate 3,000 acres of chilies in various parts of the country in the future. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
It is reported that multiple invasive fish species have been released into natural waterways in different parts of the country. Environmentalists say it causes a threat to endemic species in Sri Lanka, and it is being practiced by people for more than a decade. The Ministry of Environment says that invasive fish species are being smuggled into the country despite the existence of government-imposed bans to control exotic fauna and flora being brought into the island. Experts have complained on multiple occasions exotic fish species originally brought down to be sold as pets to enthusiasts or to be showcased at aquariums have been released into the natural water sources, resulting in a threat to the local ecosystems. The Commissioner General of Excise has ruled to close all retail liquor shops island-wide due to the quarantine curfew. However, shops with the Tourist Board approval can continue with their sales to facilitate overseas travellers. The Commissioner General of Excise said it is banned to open other liquor shops during the lockdown period. He added that just after the quarantine curfew ends, all the liquor shops can be opened, adhering to the health protocols imposed by the Ministry of Health. The CID arrested the son of Shabir Abbas Ghulam Hussain, a well-known businessman, over his father's murder 4 years ago. Police spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua said the businessman passed away inside his own office premises in Colombo on the 9th of June 2017. The police carried out an extensive investigation over the suspicious death on a complaint received by the CID in 2018. Accordingly, the body of Ghulam Hussain was exhumed in 2019 and his remains were sent for a post-mortem, and the doctors had concluded that his death was a murder and not due to natural causes. Following a lengthy investigation into the incident, the CID had arrested Ali Ghulam Hussain, the 37-year-old younger son of the businessman, in connection with the murder. The CID suspects that the victim's son had committed the murder with the intention of obtaining property. The suspect was produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today. The victim was the owner of 9 companies, including the Adam Export Limited. That concludes local news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Children with special needs will be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine from next week in Sri Lanka. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that the COVID-19 vaccination for children over 12 years of age is planned to be carried out in 3 phases. Accordingly, children with chronic diseases will be vaccinated under the first phase, and in the second phase the vaccine will be given to A-level and O-level students. In the third stage, the vaccine will be given to the rest of the children, especially those over 12 years of age, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
Reputed doctors battling COVID-19 say the COVID vaccines won't make people infertile and also refer to other myths in circulation worldwide today. The doctors said that there is a race against time to get the vast majority of the population vaccinated, and misinformation is causing hesitancy for getting shots. It added that infertility rumour that started in Europe late last year has been refuted by multiple scientific studies. They stress, referring to other studies that show pregnant women infected with COVID can be at a greater risk of death, hospitalization and serious complications compared with women who are inoculated. That came to you in Watchlight World News. Up next.
World News.
Making headlines tonight, England vaccine passport plans ditched, the Health Secretary says. The World Food Programme says that 93% of households in Afghanistan don't have sufficient access to food today. Female Afghan filmmakers warn over the fall of the film industry amid Taliban rule. Plans to introduce vaccine passports for access into nightclubs and large events in England will not go ahead, the Health Secretary has said. He said that it was thought the plan, which came under criticism from venues and some MPs, would be introduced at the end of this month. Under the scheme, people would have been required to show proof, whether of double vaccination, a negative COVID test, or finishing self-isolating after positive PCR test in order to gain entry to clubs and other crowded events. The Nighttime Industries Association warned the plans could have crippled the industry and seen nightclubs facing discrimination cases. Food and job insecurity are now just the primary causes of concern for families in Afghanistan. The World Food Programme said that 93% of households in Afghanistan don't have sufficient access to food today. The randomised phone survey carried out from August 21st to September 5th in all provinces in the country revealed that people are buying cheaper, unsafe food and parents are skipping meals entirely to allow their children to eat. It is now a race against time to deliver life-saving assistance to the Afghan people before roads are cut off by snow, a UN official said. 2 Afghan film directors gave a moving testimony at the Venice Film Festival over the Taliban's threat to their industry. In just 2 weeks, the most brilliant elements have left the country, at least those who were able, Director Sahara Karimi told reporters at the festival. She said the Afghan film industry had entirely stopped in the space of a few hours after last month's sudden takeover by the Taliban in the wake of the US military's withdrawal. The archives are now under the control of the Taliban. The work of directors vanished in a few hours. Some were able to leave with their computers, others with nothing at all. The Taliban are now occupying the building and they have destroyed the students' instruments and the students are in hiding, she said, on the verge of tears. To conclude this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. England vaccine passport plans ditched, the Health Secretary says. The World Food Programme says that 93% of households in Afghanistan don't have sufficient access to food today. And female Afghan filmmakers warn over the fall of the film industry amid Taliban rule. That concludes World News. Moving on to development news, the Valikada Prison Chapel Ward and the prison headquarters building will be renovated as luxury hotels. The Valikada prison inmates will be moved to a land in Millava, Horana. The estimated cost for the project is 30 billion rupees. State Minister Nalaka Godaheva says alternative strategies will be utilised to raise funds for the project as the government treasury will not be able to allocate funds at this critical juncture, and came to you in development news.
Sports news.
Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to bat in the second T20 international night match against South Africa. They have opted to bat first and stand reinforced at the top by the return of Kusal Perera, who is making a comeback after his recovery from COVID. Praveen Javikrama, the 22-year-old left-arm spinner who made a sizzling test debut against Bangladesh, made his T20I debut today. For South Africa, David Miller misses out due to an injury, so Razi van der Dussen comes in. A short while ago, Sri Lanka were 103 runs for 8 wickets. Cricket Australia CA will cancel its men's test match with Afghanistan if reports that the women's cricket team cannot play under Taliban rule are true. The International Cricket Council said it was concerned by Taliban Cultural Commission Deputy Head Ahmadullah Wasiq's comments. Wasiq told Australian broadcaster SBS News that the Taliban would not allow women to play cricket. Cricket Australia CA said, quote, if recent media reports that women's cricket will not be supported in Afghanistan are substantiated, Cricket Australia would have no alternative but not to host Afghanistan for the proposed test match due to be played in Hobart, unquote. That's sports news, business news up next.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Kothmale has become one of Sri Lanka's national dairy brands, contributing to the nourishment of the country and strengthening the local dairy farming community. As a fully owned subsidiary of leading food company Cargill Ceylon plc, Kothmale is a 100% Sri Lankan company. By sourcing fresh milk from over 17,000 local dairy farmers, Kothmale generated over 5.2 billion rupees of direct income for the Sri Lankan dairy farming community in 2020. Today, Kothmale has established itself as Sri Lanka's largest private sector collector of fresh milk, collecting 180,000 litres on a daily basis. And came to you in Business News. We look at economic news next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Internationally renowned, the Travel and Leisure magazine has nominated Sri Lanka as one of the top 25 islands in the world as a great tourist destination. In the latest issue of the magazine, Sri Lanka is tied for the beautiful island of Seychelles. According to TNL readers, selected countries are the kind of Instagram-perfect destinations that travellers fantasize about on winter evenings. It is a tradition of the TNL magazine to ask readers to reflect based on their global travel experiences over 3 years for the world's best awards survey. And that's economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
Several spells of showers will occur in the Sabragamu and Western provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. A few showers will occur in the Northwestern province. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and the Ampara district in the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the northern and north-central provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The Minister of Finance instructs officials to provide expeditious solutions to the people intending to go for overseas employment. The JVP leader condemns the opposition leader Sajith Premadas's call for snap elections. Children will be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine from next week. The Agriculture Minister says the government is to stop the import of chilies into the country. Multiple invasive fish species released into natural waterways disturb the natural ecosystem. The Commissioner General of Excise says all retail liquor shops are closed. And the World Food Programme says that 93% of households in Afghanistan don't have sufficient access to food today. That concludes tonight's news broadcast, and now it's back to my good friend and yours and also your host to take you to the end of transmission, Victor Raj. Back to you, Victor.
Thank you, Saldi. That was Saldi Tan giving it the